banging.
Yeah.
That's you.
That's me. That's
That
all
is
me.
you.
That's all
I am
me.
so proud
You know
of
what I'm saying?
Mr.
Big Shot Entertainment. Deep in the joint. Deep
That's
in the
right.
joint.
That's right. So welcome back to another episode of the Holistic Cannabis Show with your host is Dr. Yolanda Henderson. And
Ken Henderson. Bus driver.
Bus driver.
AKA Mr. Normal. AKA Pops.
AKA
somebody daddy.
There you go. Somebody daddy.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have some exciting news for you all today. We have an exciting show. Today is the day before Labor Day. So Labor Day weekend. This is September. We're in the month of September. So woohoo. Shouts out to September.
Shout it.
All right. So we're going to be celebrating some birthdays this month for September. Labor Day weekend. Again, like I said, this is the Labor Day weekend, the day before Labor Day. Tomorrow's Labor Day. So I hope you all are not doing too much work and you all are relaxing with your feet up and enjoying your day off. Virtual days for some, and for those working all over the world, hey, it's your day. Happy Pride Week. You know, we're gonna shout out Pride because hey, we may not be LGBTQRZ. I mean, you know, we may not be that, but you know, we have to shout out all of our counterparts and all of our associates and our colleagues and workmates, and so we just shout you all out this weekend here in Atlanta. Everybody is going ballistic, so we told them that we'll shout out everybody, and that includes the Pride Week. All right, so Mr. Henderson is going to give you the outlets to watch the show.
So now, you can pick up your telephone and you can call me at 470-251-4647.
Yep.
You on Instagram, manifesttv.status.
Yep.
If you on Facebook, Status Network LLC, Periscope, Status_Network_. If you on Twitter, Status_Network_. On Amazon, Fire Stick, and Roku, Status Network, Manifest TV.
Yep.
YouTube, your boy at Manifest TV.
There you go. Manifest TV is in the house. All right, so we want to get some calls. We want to hear from you. We have a wonderful strain of the day. We have talks about cannabis falling from the sky. We got talks about everything cannabis.
It's raining weed.
It's raining weed, y'all. It's raining weed, and we got the latest news on where that was raining from. But we're gonna let you all take this quick commercial break while we go ahead and get our show together.
And before we do that, before we get ready to go to that commercial, while he getting everything together, check this out. I want to shout out everybody who watch us on those social media outlets.
That's right.
All right?
That's
I
right.
want to shout out the real Mike Jones.
Whoop,
Who?
whoop.
Mike Jones.
Whoop.
I want to shout that out. Mr. Leo Bell, my main man.
Hey.
I see you, sir. I see you,
Thanks for
sir.
watching.
Thanks for watching.
All right.
Hey, I want to send a shout out to them Hendersons.
Henderson.
This weekend was supposed to have been our family reunion weekend, but due to COVID,
man.
we decided to not
COVID
do
be
that.
messing up stuff.
All right. When it's family reunion time, we have fun. But this time we decided to do it virtual over Zoom.
Yes.
All right. So, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Kim folks, it's still all good. It's still all good.
Yes.
It's the H every single day.
Yes.
It's the H with me.
Yes.
All right. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all
Yes.
for tuning in and watching the show.
Yes.
Now, Kimfo, y'all pull out y'all little phones now and share it right now, Kimfo, while y'all at the
Go
family
ahead and
reunion.
share.
I know y'all hear me.
Yes. All right. So we're still doing our prizes for the most shares. So if you go ahead and share, hey, you never know what you'll win next week. So actually, we have footage from Mr. Jacob Blake, who was actually in the hospital recovering from his gunshot wounds, and this is the first time that he spoke since the shooting happened. And so we want to go ahead and acknowledge Mr. Jacob Blake. And there's still shootings going on in America. We got a race to this election. 2020. There's a lot of people saying that. Yeah, it's a lot of people saying that election is going to change things, but is it really? Black shootings, African American men dying. Even the women now. So we got shootings. The women is getting shot, and I mean, we just want everybody to live in harmony. So whatever we can do to get harmony, and if that takes more prayer, more cannabis, hey, let's do it. Faith without works is dead, so we have to put that work in, and that cannabis may be the trick. All right, so let's watch this quick video of Mr. Jacob Blake, and he is having a statement from the hospital bed.
I just want to say, man, to all the young cats out there, and even the older ones, older than me,
So you heard it here. He spoke out about how appreciate the little things, even with your legs, even with life, because in an instant he could have been dead. I mean, the way he was shot, I mean, he was up close, point blank, when he shot him. So I believe that, that was an angel that was watching his life. And so, yeah, we have to appreciate that. What you think, Mr. Henderson?
Man, I'm sure for him, his life is a little bit different,
Yeah.
I'm sure that there were some changes, unfortunately tragic situations like that, man. Sometimes it take a tragedy for people to understand, what I'm saying, what's what, and be able to separate things. So at least that brother was still spared and given another chance, man, to get it right. So praying for you, bro.
Yes. All right, so, and other news, we have a lot going on with the elections and cannabis coming up. They're supposed to vote this coming up week on how cannabis research is to be made. So we're, hoping and praying for a good turnout for that, and voting on the legalization. This is the month. September was the month we was trying to look forward to. And so we're trying to, make sure that passes in the House, in the Congress, and the Senate. We need it to pass all the way around. California is encouraging banks to work with the cannabis businesses. I know that certain businesses are not allowed still to get bank accounts for certain financial institutes.
It depends on on the bank that you go to.
Right.
The larger banks that receive federal monies to operate, those banks are still not gonna play. All right, they still don't want to play right now. All right, they want to play, but they can't play because of federal guidelines and federal restrictions that's placed on banking institutions. But there are a number of smaller banks, and it's becoming more and more of those smaller state-owned banks that is starting to warm up to the cannabis space.
Right.
All right, and then too, you got to remember now, a lot of businesses are being turned down for certain things because they have the name cannabis somewhere in their name. All right, so you might want to rethink that part of it when you get ready to, do your name. I mean, people recognize your brand by the name, but sometimes you got to go undercover with the name for a minute, then jump back out there, or co-brand your product, or find another way to, still incorporate cannabis into what you do. Of course, it's a cannabis product. So, I mean, it's just some things to consider.
That's
but
right.
if you don't want to change your name, hold tight to what you got. You know, there are still merchant accounts that you can get, so your customers will be able to pay online. There's still merchant accounts that you will be able to get, and certain things like that you want to. But we'll talk about that later.
All right, so we're excited about credit repair joining with other businesses.
Yes.
So hopefully the next couple of weeks from now, we'll be starting cannabis and a webinar for credit repair. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, the Holistic Show has joined and partnered with NTH Credit to bring credit information as one of the main pieces into the cannabis space, along with the Atlanta Academy of Cannabis Science. We have now
And the Gift of Life.
and the Gift of Life.
The Gift of Life Community Home
Yep.
Incorporated.
Yep, we have included a portion in the curriculum that addresses finance from a personal standpoint, how to obtain a Duns and Bradstreet number, getting your EIN with the IRS, as well as your personal credit.
Right.
So, in lieu and in celebration of that agreement, we will be offering all enrollees of the school
Yes.
to receive a free credit evaluation.
There you go.
And in about 2 weeks, we'll be hosting a free credit workshop.
Yes.
All right, where we will show you basic disputing techniques, what letters to use,
Yes.
the quickest way to have items removed from the report, and the quickest way to have your scores boosted.
Right.
We have been doing quite a few of those things with other people, and nothing but good news. Our average client is increasing at about 150 points
Yes.
per bureau.
That's right.
All right. So don't delay. Undelay.
Awesome.
Reach out to www.nthcredit.net. We on Facebook, www.nthcredit.net. Pop that in. All
Yes.
right, put that in your Google.
And for those also, again, wanting to call into the show, please do so calling in to the number, Mr. Henderson.
470-251-4647. You can
That's
call
right.
us with your credit questions. Call us with your cannabis questions. Call us with your opinions about what you've been seeing in the news and all of that good stuff. Yeah,
Yep.
call us. Call us.
We want to hear from you. Topics such as cannabis or marijuana is safer than. We're also talking about that. We're also talking about kids going back to school and those who are at home school and how parents are coping. And so we have been researching some strains for that, and I have a couple of them if you all want to know what they are. We have some strains that are specific for parents, CBD strains, of course.
No THC.
No THC. And also making sure you leave your lock up your cannabis and make sure that you don't leave them out for your children. That was another big tip for today with your cannabis. And so the strains that we discovered for the parents that's homeschooling their children, Leafly reports. Oh yes, always remember to put your
Keep your cannabis in a lid away
Yes.
from the kids, in a
Yes.
secure, child-proof container,
Yes.
out of kids' reach. All right.
Yeah.
We do that with the other medication. Let's do that with the cannabis
Let's do
too.
it with the cannabis as well. All right, so parents need love too, right? So the article that I'm reading about is talking about how parents are at home with their children. And if you're like me and you're homeschooling 5 that's at home, the first days of our academy at home was cute, okay? But now we're months into it and the parents aren't all right. Summer is almost over. All right, and we've accepted this will be the norm for a while. But given our new reality, we've had to make a lot of adjustments as parents. All right, so I realize I need a variety of resources to navigate the toll of our typical responsibilities, plus take on the role of teacher or principal. You're also the bus driver, you're the gym coach, you're now the therapist, and consistent routines are some of the favorite tools, but we can't lie. Cannabis is too. It's a tool. It needs to be in the toolbox. Here are some strains I suggest for my fellow parents making the most of back to school season during a pandemic and having a parent-teacher conference with themselves during screen time. So here it is, Jack Herrera. All right, so Jack Herrera is the ultimate wake and bake strain. It pairs well with coffee and tasty breakfast treats like cinnamon rolls. It gives energy, it focuses, and it uplifts the spirits just like coffee does, but without the jitters or the crash. Okay, so cannabis again, non-THC. Jack Herrera. This strain is a favorite because it gives this mama a clear-headed, productive high and is suitable for daytime consumption. You can also pretend like you're alone at a coffee shop when you enjoy it. So remember that feeling, being alone without the children. No more. All right, so that's just one strain. We'll give you another strain next week. All right, for staying at home, for the stay-at-home parents that need that uplifting and that calming and, hey, just for the moods. All right, so we're also marijuana research bill, like I was telling you about, has just came into Congress for a vote for next week. Make sure you write your senator, write your Congress. You can also call to find out who yours is in your area, because again, we need that bill to pass. All right, so as a bipartisan bill to promote and streamline marijuana research, it has been scheduled for a House committee vote next week. All right, and now we also have some information on raining weed. In the news, there was real weed raining from the sky. All right?
Real weed.
Yes, it
Bags
was.
of weed.
Bags of weed that was dropping
It's
down.
raining weed.
Yes, so reports.
Hallelujah, it's raining weed.
He would have loved that if it was here. So unfortunately, it was not
It
here,
wasn't here, though.
in the United States. It was all the way in Tel Aviv, okay?
In Israel.
Yes.
Where we send our research money to.
They have done all the research so far on the cannabis over in the other country. So the bags were dropped by the Green Drone. It was a Telegram group which advocates for legalization of cannabis in Israel, with free love being the group's slogan. So there you go. Free love. All right. A drone dropped hundreds of bags of cannabis on Thursday afternoon over Raven Square in Tel Aviv. All right. Attracting dozens of confused people who rushed to pick up as many bags as they could carry. Could you imagine?
Just dropping weed out the sky.
Just raining.
I don't know what I'd do if I go outside and all of a sudden I'm seeing bags of weed
just
coming from the
raining
sky.
bags.
I don't know what I'd do.
That's
but
right.
But I mean, that's one good way to get the word out. That's where we have to make sure that we stay on top of our advocacy situations and our advocacy programs.
Yes.
And I think a lot of the times we let the laws dictate a little bit too much of our life. You know what I'm saying? And so when you give control away to them like that, they're going to take advantage of the situation.
Yes.
And they're not going to be concerned with you at all.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we continue to apply pressure on our senators locally, on our local politicians. This is an election year. You definitely want to find out where your candidate stands on cannabis. All right? Because not only are we trying to advocate for the legalization, the recreation part, but it's people that need it for medical purposes. All right? And so with that medical purpose, that cannabis is used for, you want to make sure that when you go to the ballot That you just don't say, oh yeah, I'm gonna vote the straight Democratic ticket,
Right.
or I'm finna go straight vote the Republican ticket.
Find out.
Because you might have some candidates on your straight ballot that's not still supportive of cannabis,
Right.
in your state, in
Right.
your city, in your town,
Right.
right, and on a federal level. All right? So you got to participate in all the functions where your politician is, right? I get Facebook messages and emails from people saying, well, what do you think about cannabis being legal in Tennessee? It's up to you. All right? It's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to our viewers. It's up to everybody that's watching to advocate for the cannabis. Reach out to your local politicians, your city councilmen, your state representatives, your legislators.
Yes.
You know, make sure. Get on Google.
Yeah.
We Googling everything else. Get on Google.
Google
Look
has
up their telephone numbers. Call them. Email them. Just jam out their switchboards. There's only two things that a politician really gonna understand: is a vote and some money. That's it. Well, cannabis is both.
Yeah.
We get it if we vote it,
Yeah.
and it's gonna make a whole lot of money. So your politician ain't got no choice but to care about it.
That's it. Yep. So you were right on it. You're right on it. We got to, just like they were able to get pride and all of that kind of other stuff legalized, we got to work for this.
Right.
All right. And it's going to be worth the work. So just shouting out our sponsors before this next video. Our sponsors are, the Gift of Life Community Home. We just signed a partnership agreement to be able to Atlanta Academy of Cannabis Science to work with the Gift of Life Community Home and offer free classes to everyone who enrolls in that program. So if you're interested in joining the Gift of Life Community Home and you're signed up with low income, research the Gift of Life. They're proud sponsors. The Gift of Life Community Home, they have given out toys before. They've given out school supplies, and in other previous years they've done so much for the community. They've gotten together and worked with youth, and so now they're teaching the cannabis for caregivers. So actually the health coaches and the caregivers who work for the Gift of Life Community Home will now be able to be trained in caregiving for youth with epilepsy, with seizures, with cancer, with all kinds of different diseases and disorders that cannabis does help out with. And the facts are there and the research is there that it has been proven and it's legal in many states, almost over 33 states, over half the states, to help out with those ailments and diseases. So join the Gift of Life Community Home. Find them www.thegiftoflifecommunityhome.org, and you can sign up and get their class for free. Also, there is a flyer that we were able to see last week, the Monica versus Brandy. That was really cool. If you all watched it, it was like 101 million views, 102 at sometimes.
Oh, that was live.
So
they
it
still
was,
don't like each other.
I think they like each other. I think
don't.
they just have to play that, hard. I don't like you because you doing the same thing I'm doing. But they were really exceptional. They really showed and brought back a lot of memories of all of my old songs that I used to like.
To me,
and I still like them to this day. What?
To me, they still look like most women. Caddy.
Oh, now
They look like they were finna fight.
they look like they was about to fight.
They was straight doing some undercut conversation jams back each other. You know what I'm saying? So,
but they had some great conversations. I mean, they shout out to C Murder. They shouted out to LeBron James and all of the other people who have died. Not LeBron James. What's his name? Kobe Bryant.
Yeah,
Kobe Bryant. And
but that's odd you mentioned Mr. No Points in the fourth quarter.
Oh no. Why you gonna go there now? Come on and tell us why you went there.
shout out to everybody that's playing in the championships right
Yes.
now, man. That's in the playoffs, man.
Yes.
At least we got a few sports back. At least we got a little bit.
A little bit.
But to have a scoreless LeBron James, man, that's like.
Oh, that was bad.
Man, golly, this dude
That's
scored
why he was
nothing
on
in
my
the
mind,
fourth
because I was thinking about that game.
But that guy has really been vocal, man, about a lot of society issues when it comes to African Americans.
Oh yeah.
So you know,
Most definitely.
I mean, some people. I read a post on Facebook where somebody was saying that that was one of the ways that the NBA athletes were protesting,
Yes.
and that was just to not score or play a lackluster game.
Ooh, isn't that a way to be?
If that's what y'all doing, man, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all still getting the money. Still getting the money.
getting the
Even
money.
if we lose,
Hey,
we still getting the money.
Still getting paid. Y'all on that contract.
That's
You got to
right.
do what they
That's right.
tell you to do. Do what the man say.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Ah,
He hitting it though.
That's right. All right, so we have some wonderful treats for you to be able to view this next wonderful cannabis video. What is cannabis? A lot of people are asking, isn't that stuff that make you high? And you know, a lot of people are still stuck in their ways, and I want you all to be clear and understand exactly what cannabis is. So I have a quick video on Leafly that was you know,
peanut butter,
yeah, that just told us
strain.
about, you know, what cannabis was.
Man, that was a nice strain.
And actually the strain.
Yeah.
And so we'll have this video and then we'll show the next one.
I like that one.
All right.
The peanut butter breath.
What's going on, everybody? Joe here with the Strain of the Week. This week we have Peanut Butter Breath from G-Leaf. This indica dominant hybrid will make you feel amazing. Let's check it out. The Peanut Butter Breath by G-Leaf is a cross between Mendo Breath and Do-Si-Do. This flower is high in THC, which could cause an amazing body high. Patients have said that they have felt relaxed, uplifted, euphoric, and happy when smoking the Peanut Butter Breath. The Peanut Butter Breath's name is no joke. The strain may even leave a peanut butter taste in your mouth. It's also been known to have herbal, piney, earthy flavors. When smoked from a clean bong, you can't go wrong. The strain produces earthy, pine, pungent aromas, which will fill the room when smoked. Patients have said that the Peanut Butter Breath has helped them with chronic pain, depression, appetite loss, nausea, and stress. Now that we checked out the Peanut Butter Breath from G-Leaf, come in and check out all your favorite strains. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to all of our social medias, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. We have a new Snapchat. Come in and take a picture with your favorite bud tender. We'll see you this week. I'm gonna go smoke this weed. Hi, Amber.
Hey.
Haven. Relief is here.
That is
For more
a
information, visit our
dispensary.
website,
That place where they were
findinghaven.com.
standing in.
That's what it is.
That place is a dispensary, and that's just one of the things that you can do with a
Yeah.
dispensary. You know how they had it set all up where you can, you know,
Go in and-
sample and meet your bud tender and everything. Man, but that peanut butter breath, boy, that's
Yep.
good.
All right. It did indeed.
I got a Facebook shout out to Mr. Charles Williams.
All right.
All right. We talking about Mr. Charles asked a question a couple of episodes ago about how cannabis would help, or how would help alleviate the homeless problem. All right. So I did a little bit of research into places that did have a homeless problem, and how and how the legalization of cannabis changed this particular place. This is a place that everybody's familiar with by now. You talk legal cannabis, you can't help but to bring up the state of Colorado.
Right.
The state of Colorado, within the last 5 years, have made $5 billion in tax revenue. That's just in tax revenue, all right, from the cannabis.
Okay.
That don't count the tax revenue from people living there, property taxes, sales taxes.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? They still made money.
Right.
They made so much money until they was able to give every student a computer device for them to go to school.
Oh, wow.
All right, every device was paid for. All right, because of the accessibility of that tax revenue.
Right.
The availability, it was
Right.
there. They
Right.
had the money to do it.
Right.
So if your state or your city is bringing cannabis to your city, it will do things to stimulate your state's economy.
Right.
And now, how that money is divided, that's probably the part where you want to pay attention at, is how that money gets divided and what goes into the coffer when they have their little city board meetings. You want to go to those. All right, you want to go to those and you want to speak to your representatives and speak out. Hey, this is what hemp can do. This is what cannabis can do locally. Because like I said, the only thing a politician understand is a vote and some money. All right.
Wow. Vote and money. That's what we need for the next year.
I'm running for something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Next
I don't know
year
what
you
it
might
is,
as
but
well.
I'm running for something.
I'm gonna run for something.
You gonna run for
I'm
something?
gonna run for something.
I'm gonna run for
I
the
hope
border.
y'all vote me in. Yeah.
I'm gonna run for the border.
Oh no.
I think I need a bigger bag.
You know? All right. Well, this is the news that we all been waiting for, and I just found it. It is Forbes talking about the legal cannabis industry is creating a new workforce amidst the pandemic. Okay, so y'all know that we are in a recession pandemic type of deal going on here. Everybody cannot get out and do what they want to do because the rising in the cases, and then the people done went back to school, and everybody is trying to do something. And so it says, despite being a nascent and still federally illegal operation, most states deem cannabis companies and auxiliary services as essential businesses. When COVID-19 hit the U.S. since that time, consumer demand has sustained, if not grown, and patients have been able to continue getting their medicine. Now, the legal cannabis industry is looking towards the future and the new normal, with expanding legitimized workforces that have kept the industry alive during a national economic downturn. According to the Marijuana Business Daily, annual marijuana business Facebook and U.S. medical and adult use cannabis sales will reach at least $15 billion in 2020, and almost 40% increase from last year. So already. Okay. It also predicts industry employment could reach almost 300,000 full-time jobs this year, and a 50% increase from 2019. That's last year. To put those figures in perspective, the number of jobs in the cannabis industry would be about the same as the beverage industry and computer programming. It's important to keep in mind only 11 states have completely legalized adult use markets. As cannabis becomes legalized in all 50 states, all right, it's easy to see its employment surpassing others. More established industries are being created. So the job market is here. Everybody is getting ready to get jobs. The Atlanta, Georgia Academy of Cannabis Science, we're teaching you, we're giving you those certifications and certificates. So this is what's going on. The cannabis sector is one of the fastest growing industries in the United States, creating a new workforce amidst the current health and economic crisis. All right, so Ohio's medical market has already created 600 new jobs. That's a 21% increase since February, and cannabis companies in states ranging from Maryland and Virginia to Oregon are continuing to grow their workforce. All right, the question that Mr. Henderson was asked was, how can that help homeless? All right, so here's the thing. When you have and you need workers and you need to create a job force, cultivators can be any age, well, over 18, and they can be outdoors. I mean, you don't have to work inside, and inside of facilities that they grow or cultivate, they can give you hazmat suits to wear because they need to protect the plants as well. So there you have it. There's an opening for the job market in that arena as far as cultivators that are needed, I mean, like never before. All right, so that's one. And a recent report using data from cannabis staffing from Vegas, found 68% of companies plan to increase headcount during the second half of 2020. That's now. That's right now. So if you're waiting to say, hey, how are we going to do cannabis? Our families are trying to get together and figure out where their land is going to be used for. The time is already now. You should have been trying to do that way back. But again, we understand we've been in a pandemic, but we're not going to let that stop us. That was part of the ordeal, was to let stuff to hinder the cannabis industry, but we are refusing to allow that to happen because we know that this is generational wealth. This is not something that's going to come and it's going to last a couple of days and then it's over, a year and it's over. No, once you get some seed in the ground and you start growing, or you get your seeds in your indoor grow facilities, that's that. It's, you know, it's going to go and it's going to keep going. And so they went on to say that remote hiring for non-plant touching roles is becoming increasingly common and keeping up with many other sectors. And in new employee safety protocols and procedures on the plant touching side are absolutely shifting the workforce experience, said Carson Humiston, founder and CEO of Vangst, and that's VANGST. You all can look that up. Interestingly, though, we're also seeing a lot of candidates coming in saying that the recession and either the loss of their last roles or their inability to find a new one. Okay, so some of this stuff can be intentionally. You lost a job in one area, but come on over to the cannabis side and you can get a new job, and it's the booming market and you're going to get paid more. Okay. So they're saying that with losing their last roles of their inability to find a new one was the nudge that they needed to actively seek work in the cannabis industry. So here you have it, in the cannabis industry, always a job. These candidates have been curious about the cannabis for quite some time, but hadn't been motivated previously to make the transition from the mainstream career that previously felt more stable and less risky. Okay, and then it goes on to say, as markets continue to mature and businesses grow, that's an increased need for professional services. In states where the industry is maturing, it's attracting professionals who in the past may have turned away from the career in cannabis. So now those are your lawyers, those are your doctors, those are your healthcare professionals, that therapists, your psychiatrists. Now that we're going through the pandemic, everybody's coming and trying to figure out how their anxiety is going to be cured. A lot of people are still worried about the pandemic. So CBD and hemp and cannabis calms those situations. So now you're going to have more of your professionals seeking out the cannabis industry to go ahead and give to their patients. This is awesome, y'all. I'm telling you, this was going to come one way or another. But in the past, they've turned away from the careers in the cannabis industry. This is a similar pattern to when Colorado voters approved the constitutional amendment to create casinos in 1990. So this is just like one of those things. It took a few years before the state's labor market began to have a broad acceptance of employment, but similarly, people with professions in law enforcement, private security, or technology vendors who were in the past would not have associated with the illicit cannabis market have warmed up to the idea of lending their services to the newly legalized industry. All right.
Yeah, make it legal. Watch, everybody gonna jump on the
Everybody is going to jump in it, and that's what was going to happen, and we knew this was going to happen. Therefore, the school is needed. You come on to the classes. Class starts September the 14th. Law enforcement, security guards. You're going to need security to protect your cannabis sites, facilities. You're going to need truck drivers. Truck drivers can haul legally. You get your certification, and you can haul around cannabis from farm to farm. Of course, you want to get those handgun permits, and we can direct you to where to go and get those. But it's a lot of industries that have opened up, you know, especially in the finance, because stocks are going and they're low now. If you haven't already invested, people saying, well, the stock market in cannabis is going down. But guess what? With the rise of the industry and the leaders and the industry leaders changing their directions, the stock market is going to plunge. So you want to get in low and then make that money. Okay.
Right. And then too, just because stock is going down means that there does not mean that it's a bad thing.
Right.
The price of a stock going down in a certain industry like cannabis is a good thing because it opens up more opportunities for more people to invest. And of course, if you want to power an industry, it's going to take money to do that. So by lowering the stock prices, might not be a bad thing. Buy you more shares, because guess what? That stock is going to come back.
Yep. All right. So, if to continue with that, that article, you can see that article on the Holistic Cannabis Show site, but it actually talks more. It goes to say that the growth of the cannabis industry workers facing a myriad of state policies and regulations has also highlighted the need for good jobs and the role in the labor unions. The United Food and Commercial Workers, the UFCW, launched a Cannabis Workers Rising campaign, and that was in 2010, and today represent tens and thousands of cannabis workers across multiple states. All right, and a little secret about what we're doing, we are actually partnering with the Georgia Workforce Commission to allow the state to for unemployment benefits to come to our classes, and so that's in the making, and we have those applications going forward, and hopefully you all will sign up for those classes. If you're in any other state and you want to come to our classes, we can connect you with a state where the classes are in your state, and also again, if you're underemployed or if you're low income, you sign up for the Gift of Life Community Home, which is a nonprofit organization that we have been fortunate enough to open up and start. Found in 2008, we are able to assist you with training needs for a very sliding scale fee. And I know this is a very bad time for people struggling financially. I know they're talking about a lot of evictions and things like that going on, but they did halt the eviction process according to the CDC so that no one is left out on the streets. And so we're hoping and praying that no one is left on the streets. We don't want to see that happen. All right, so at a time when many industries are not making any new moves in an effort to stay afloat, many cannabis industry leaders have been nimble and proactive, and this can be seen in almost a seamless switch to e-commerce, and we'll continue to see it in the workforce. We're showing other industries what can happen when you prioritize grit, innovative, and collaboration across everyone in our industry who is ready to get cannabis to work, said Huniston. And in its own self-reflection, the cannabis industry has shown exactly how it plans to get to work. All right, so again, classes start September the 14th. All right, and the classes are nights, 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Those for the late birds. And then once we get back our partnership with the Gift of Life starting soon, we will have that building and opportunity for you to come to class. And but we'll get to that when it comes. We're also looking for sponsors. So if you want to sponsor some information on our show and you want to shout out, like we've shout out our wonderful partners and sponsors, we will shout your business out. We will advertise your business on the show, and and if you have a birthday, so all of our September birthdays, if you have a birthday for September or any month, please give us a call. You have that number. Mr. Henderson, what is that number again?
470-251-4647.
All right, you heard it. All right, so before we go, I do want to always give a health tip of the day. I am a private practice clinician or naturopathic doctor who studies herbs and natural healing and healthy lifestyle choices. Today's wonderful health tip is using oregano oil or oregano, the herb oregano. So there's many different varieties of oregano. All are medicinal but vary in amounts of beneficial compounds. The most potent oregano is said to come from the Greca or from Greece, and I can find plants grown in the summer heat seem to be more potent. So summertime plants are more potent. Identification: you'll find oregano growing in most herb gardens, and you may already use it in cooking. I know a lot of people cook with oregano. Some people don't like the taste. It's more of a Italian type of flavoring. It goes in most spices, like in dishes such as your spaghetti, your Italian dishes. But the edible use of oregano is used in culinary, it adds to many flavors. The Mediterranean diet, it says. For medicinal use, oregano can be used as an herb in food, used in a tea or a tincture, or as an essential oil. So that is a way that you can use it for medicinal. The essential oil is very concentrated, and it should be diluted in a carrier oil before use. It is an antiviral. Ding, ding, ding. All right, antivirals. It is an antibacterial and an antifungal. Okay, so for yeast infections, for viruses such as COVID-19, but you didn't hear that from me. But it is wonderful. It is great antiviral. Oregano is used internally to treat infections and externally to treat skin problems and fungal infections. All right, it is also a great immune system, a booster, and again, an antiviral. So oregano contains a wide range of antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, and a wide range of anti-infectious properties that help the immune system heal the body faster. All right, it contains vitamins A and C, as well as other compounds that are beneficial in boosting the immune system. So anything with vitamin C, it helps to boost the immune system. It helps relieve stresses on the body and stimulates the immune system to produce white blood cells, which defend the body against bacteria, viruses, fungi, and cancerous cells. All right, so it also helps with yeast. Like I said before, it helps with healing and inhibits the growth of candida. All right, and so carvacrol and thymol are the main components that treat yeast infections and preventing them from spread. So you use oregano tea or tincture once or twice daily to treat internal yeast infections and for external use. So you can use a tincture or oil and mix it with some I use coconut oil. Some people may be allergic to coconut, but it is good for that. Oregano also on the skin. It contains an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. It's also good for cancer. It's an anti-inflammatory benefits, the immune boosting effects of oregano for fighting cancer, and anti-tumor properties, and it slows down the growth and the reproduction of cancer cells and promotes cancer cell death, apoptosis. Look that up if you need for some more information. It's also great for heart health. So if you have high cholesterol levels, it helps to improve those levels. It stimulates weight loss and the metabolism, and it prevents illnesses and speed up recovery. The number one while we're going through the COVID-19 is that it helps with bronchial infections, asthma, and cough. So adding oregano oil to water and creates a facial steam for loosening congestion and treating bronchial infections, asthma, and coughing. Yes, it does. It relieves the inflammation of the airways of the lungs. So oils of oregano is an infusion. Oil of oregano you can use as a dropper. There's recipes that you can use, such as oregano tea, and most people prefer to use it a natural from the leaves, and then crushing it and grinding it and drying it in a cup of boiling water. Others tend to use the oil. I have here a couple of products that I use for myself. It is Colloidal Silver with echinacea and oregano. It is a throat spray, and it helps with all kinds of congestion. And there's an Oregano Max, which is what I use as well for healthy immune system support and digestion. And it's a whole wild oregano. Again, it is called North American Herb and Spice Wild Non-GMO Oregano, or Oregano Max. And again, Colloidal Silver with oregano and echinacea. And you can get those from your nearest Whole Food stores. All right, Mr. Henderson, what you got to say for us? He's saying peace. You don't have nothing else to end with?
No, man, just man, y'all take care of each other, man. Y'all look out for each other. Eat a lot of barbecue. I know
Yes.
I am. I'm gonna eat a whole lot of barbecue,
Yes.
a whole lot of chicken. I'm smoking 2 or 3, and I'm going to sleep.
There you go.
All right, that's what's up.
Yeah, all right. Hope
Happy
you all
Labor
have
Day.
a great Labor Day again. Thanks for watching. We will see you all the same place, the same time. Shouts out.
www.nth.credit. Now sign up for that workshop. It's
Thanks.
free.